y'all, it's Pam with 44 Marketplace and Creative Finishes by Pam. And tonight we are on day 2 of our 7 days of live with Pam. And there's a little bit of an echo. I had to move in tonight. Screen porch, we got a lot of rain coming through, and the cool and the rain, it makes for things not drying very quickly. So we had to move inside. And we're going to mess around with this table right here. I don't know, those of you who know where I live in a golf community. So somehow I ended up with this table, which has kind of a golf motif, which I don't care for. So we are going to do something a little different to this. I went ahead and started right here with putting a base coat on here. I put a base coat of burlap. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. Hey Robin, hey Billy, hey Louise. We're going to do something a little different. Got to take my shoes off because I'm sitting cross-legged in the floor. We're gonna paint this. You know, when I blend, I like to base coat. So we're gonna base coat this with burlap because I like burlap. I'm hoping that it gives me the look that I want, but you know me, if it doesn't, we'll go a different direction. I don't care. We are going to do our transfer on the top. We are going to do this transfer, which I love. It's only part of a transfer. And we're going to take a couple of stamps from this, and we're going to put it on the top of this table. Once we get it all blended the way that we want it, or semi-blended the way we want it. Hey Kimberly, hey Donna. Once we get it blended the way we want it, then we'll put the transfers on. And if we want to blend more, we'll do that then. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've put a base coat on, and because it is so damp and chilly and I've moved in, it's still not quite ready to be blended yet. I want it to dry a little more, so we're going to kind of go over a couple of things. I did want to go over one thing. Had a sweet customer send me a message today. I do have a special right now on shipping, and you get free shipping and a free 8-ounce paint when you place an order of $65 or more. And she wanted to know, could I do better than that? And I got to be honest with you guys, by the time you package and you take all the effort to ship, because paint is very fragile when you're shipping it, by the time you do all of that and you give the free paint and the free shipping, I really can't do any better than that. My husband and I do all of our own shipping. So I appreciate the question, but I just can't do any better than that. All right, so that's enough about that. We're going to talk about this table, but also, hey Bobby, hey Michelle. The other thing we're going to chat about is I don't want to let you guys all know what we're going to do every single night, because we're going to do 7 days of live with Pam. Y'all are going to be tired of me by 7 days, but we're going to do 7 days of live. But life is so organized. Everybody has every single minute planned. I'm the world's worst about it. Everybody knows everything before it happens. So I'm not telling you what we're going to do night by night. But we are going to do something fun every night. And a couple of our projects, we're going to do this table because, like I say, we want to jazz it up. I don't care for the golf motif, but I do love the lines of it. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it's got great legs and it's got pretty lines. So we're just going to kind of funk it up a little. And then we are going to make a wreath, because I told you we were going to do that, but I don't think it's what you're expecting when I say a wreath. We're also going to do something with this gold frame you see in the background. That's going to be kind of a surprise, and I think it's going to be something that you're not expecting. We are going to do kind of a gift item, because if you're like me, there's always somebody that you forget. Your mail carrier, a teacher, the Sunday school teacher, the pastor's wife. There's always somebody that we forgot. So we're going to do a little thing, and we may use transfers in that gift. But part of the reason I can't tell you what we're going to do by night, I really don't know. I'm one of those people that whatever happens, happens, and we're just going to live with it and have fun. Okay, so what we've done is we've put our burlap on here. Now, I have not painted the bottom yet, so we're not going to lift it up and let y'all see that I'm not as far along as I'd like to be. We are going to go ahead and put a little bit of paint on the top. And we are going to let this dry a little bit more while we do that. Also, we are giving away paint tonight. I'm going to give away at least 1 8-ounce paint. It depends on how many views we get. but everybody who comments on this live video gets entered to win. If you share it, you get another entry, and everybody that you tag, you get an entry for that. Now, I can't give you an entry for every single comment, but every person who comments gets an entry for some free paint. And if we get enough people and enough shares and stuff, we are going to give away 2 or 3 things of free paint, because I want everybody to try Dixie Belle paint, because I think it's the best on the market. And I do this all the time, so I love it. All right, so now when you guys are painting, do you like a synthetic brush, or do you like a natural bristle brush? When I'm doing my base coat, typically I use a synthetic brush. Now, a lot of times I use my Dixie Belle brushes. Tonight I'm using my Chalk Pro angled 2-inch because it's the bomb. I mean, I use it in my kitchens a lot, and it's really great, especially for the investment you have in it. It washes up really great with scrubby soap, so I just absolutely love it. And I know somebody's going to say, why don't you use your lift? You know what? I'm 50 years old, and if I can still sit in the floor and paint and enjoy it and not hurt, I'm doing it, because I've always sat cross-legged in the floor, and I love to do it. I'm that person that climbs underneath cabinets and everything, and when I paint kitchens, I climb all over a kitchen. If you've ever had me in your house, you know I am a climber. I climb everywhere because I love to paint, and I don't mind climbing on the floor or whatever I have to get to where I'm painting. The other thing I want to remind you guys about is tomorrow is Cyber Monday. So, you guys, what are you looking for tomorrow? Yep, I got my dog apron on, and you guys can see that I have begun painting in scrubs, because I am the messiest painter in the entire world, and I'm tired of ruining my jeans and everything else, so I have become a painter in scrubs. They're much easier to wash and take care of than jeans and stuff. So, yes, I am using paint full strength and my Mr. bottle, but that's just for my base coat. I just put a quick, and I mean, you can see through the paint. Can you guys see that you can see through this little, sorry, it's not turning right. You can see through this. This is just my base coat, okay? I always use water, though. I always keep my brush damp. And when I started, my brush was really, really damp because I had used it earlier and had washed it out. And I did not do a very good job of shaking the water out of it. So when I first started, I had kind of a mess. Got to be honest with you. If you leave your brush too damp, ugh, it sucks. Okay. So back to it. Cyber Monday. What are you guys looking for on Cyber Monday? Are y'all still Christmas shopping? Or are you finished? I've got most of mine done. I wonder, is this echo as loud for you guys? It is super loud for me. And for that, I apologize. But 40-degree weather and rain does not make your paint dry well. All right, we've got a little bit of paint on everything but that little corner over there. We're going to see if I can be acrobatic enough to reach it. All right, so now we've thrown some paint on the whole entire thing. And you guys know me, when it comes time to blend, oh my gosh, you haven't even started, I would have a nervous breakdown. That's what I mean about too much. Okay, so I use my Paint Pixie when I am blending. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know if this is wet enough, if this is dry enough to even do a blend, but we're sure as heck going to try. Okay, if you have seen this sweet little transfer, can you see the colors that we've got in this? Some of my faves are in it, as well as this one. We're going to use this stamp and this stamp on there. Okay, so because that is our inspiration, we are, Lynn, you haven't started Christmas shopping? Girl, I would be nervous. Okay, So what we're going to do is we're going to use collard greens, palmetto, and my favorite coffee bean because I love it, and some sandbar because even though sandbar is just a little off from what we're doing, I still need the sandbar. You know what I'm saying? I like tone on tone a lot. Haven't shopped or decorated? Oh, have mercy, girl. I love me some decorating. Okay, so we're going to, you know me, I like to add some shadows. So we're going to start with a little bit of our collard greens. And I don't know if you guys have used this color that much. It is a really, really, really dark green. But oh my goodness, it is fabulous. But now I don't want just that green on there because our maps in our transfer also have a lighter color green. So we've got to have a little bit of that in there as well. And we also want to keep with, you know, our base color because we don't want the base color to completely disappear either. So when I do it, I use the same brush, which is a Paint Pixie French tip. And I put a lot of water on here. You guys, if you've seen me before, you know I like to lay down a nice bed of water. And I start smoothing across there. And I just like to add it until I feel like I've got enough. And now because of us using the map transfers, they're kind of rustic looking, even though this table has some elegant lines. We're going to just deviate from the norm, and we're going to get a little bit more of a rustic feel to this table. And I don't want to go crazy with the green because it was already dark green. Oh, you slept the afternoon away? Good for you, girl. Good for you. That's the best thing to do. If you get a chance on Sunday afternoon to take you a nap, I say nap it, girl. You can decorate another day. All right, so now we're going to put a little bit more of a mist. Can you guys see how we've done? I don't know if it's showing up real well, but we've got a brighter green here, and then we're going to go up. Now, I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to dry brush some coffee bean in this. But this color up here is collard greens. And it is just a glorious color. I mean, to tell you, it's a glorious color. And then we've got palmetto down here on the bottom. And we want the palmetto to be a brighter green. Because if you look at our map isn't really dark. Some of it is dark, but some of it is light. And so we want to kind of pull in those colors. We're not going for a matching scheme. We're just looking to pull in some colors. And like I say, when I lay down my base coat, I put enough water on here that I can move my paint around. And that's the key. A lot of people get nervous about putting water on their freshly painted finish. But listen, y'all, I told you. A couple weeks ago, I did a finish on Sunday, 6 coats. And I wrapped it in plastic wrap and delivered it to a customer on Monday. If you do it right, if you do the proper prep and stuff, oh, it's easy. No problem at all. Just have fun with it. Okay, so I erased part of my dark up here, so we want a little bit more of that. And I just like that to give it a little bit of maybe an air of mystery. I like a little bit of that dark up there and have it go down into this so that it goes from light to dark. And we're going to do kind of the same thing on the legs, but we want a little bit more of the green on the legs. Can you guys see? Let me lower you down a little bit so you can see. Well, not tip you over, sorry. Well, I'm glad you get to see me live. I'm kind of crazy and scattered and everything else, but I appreciate it. And remember, we've got free shipping and free paint this through tomorrow night at midnight. So we're going to put this on here. And I told you we're going to go back in and we're going to add some light places. But the blending that I've done so far, I want it to kind of settle a little before we go on to anything else. And like I told you, now I lay down a good bed of water before I even start. So that's why you don't see me constantly misting. Because I have done a couple of private classes and they're like, oh my Lord, I didn't know you used so much water. I like to use a lot of water when I'm blending because I want my paint to move exactly where I want it to be. And then if I have too much water, we'll let it dry a little bit because it dries so quickly. You don't really have to worry about it drying. And you want to go back in and add your collard greens. Remember, we had our collard greens up here, so we're going to go back in up here. And if you notice that your paintbrush is not moving smoothly enough, if it's not moving around, then you need to add some more water. But like I say, I usually start mine with quite a bit of water. I lay down a bed of water before I start blending. And I'm using the same brush. And right now, mainly what we're doing is we're using the palmetto green, we're using collard greens, and we're using our burlap, which is our base coat, okay? Because burlap it's a nice neutral for what I'm wanting to do here. And I don't know what that is, but we'll wipe it off. And you don't want it to be pristine. I mean, with our little map transfer, it's going to be so kind of rustic. That's what we're going to go for, okay? All right, so now we've got a little bit of this done, and now we're going to bring a little bit of this dark down into our leg, so it gives it a little bit more definition. Because like I say, I'm going to go back over this and dry brush some coffee bean, but I want you guys to see. Can you guys see what we've done with the leg there? All right, so we've added a little bit, and you can see we've kind of streaked it down into the leg so that it's a great blend. And now we've got to think about this lip up here. So now this lip does not have any water on it. I'm going to lay down a bed of water, and we're going to go back in up here. And yes, I do still have some green in my brush, which is fine. That's why I use the same brush, because I don't want it to be just the burlap. I want it to still have a little bit of green, and I have no idea what I have in my burlap, but I keep bringing stuff out of it. Probably dog hair if I had to guess. If you guys don't know, I have mastiffs, and one of them sheds like a banshee. Lord have mercy. Amos sheds. Okay, so now we have put this across here, and we've kind of blended it. So can you see that we've got the palmetto here, and it goes up into the collard greens through the burlap, and then we've got burlap with a little bit less of the collard greens and the palmetto. Oh, honey, blending is so easy. It's just a matter of working with it. And don't be afraid of it. If it doesn't turn out the way you like, then do something else with it. It's fine. I mean, if you don't like the way it does the first time, let it dry and go back over it. It's so easy to do. All right, so I want a little bit more of the collard greens kind of streaked in through here, because if you guys haven't tried collard greens, it is a fabulous color. I mean, a fabulous color. Okay, so now we've got our collard greens up in this little recess here, and it is looking very good. We want to go back over it just to make sure, because sometimes I get a little heavy-handed with that water, and then it wants to kind of run on me. So you got to make sure you don't end up with drips, because I am notorious for that. Okay, so we've got this on here, and you notice that the legs don't have quite as much color as the rest of the body does, but that's okay, because if when you finish they end up without the amount of color that you want in them, then just go back in and dry brush the amount of color that you want, because we are going to go back in and we're going to put our coffee bean on here, and who knows, they may even end up with transfers as well. Okay, so we've done this side, and we've still got a little blemish here. I don't know if you can see it, but it needs to dry a little bit before we can fix that boo-boo. And now we're going to go over here. So you can see what we've done so far on this side is kind of, we're going to do this leg the same way. Now we'll have to go back in and we'll have to do the backs of the legs. But the other thing is, once all this dries, we are going to go back in and add our sandbar and our coffee bean so that we have our light and our dark accents. All right, so where's the Mr. Bottle? But it's easier to do the front half of the leg and then go back in later and do the back half of the leg. Because if you try to do it all, or at least I find that if I try to do it all, it ends up a gigantic jack-legged mess. I mean, it's just, I'll have paint everywhere that I don't want paint. It's just a pain. Okay, so now you'll see that a lot of times I'll go back in and work, because sometimes when you're blending, if you go to a place and you stop, if you don't go back over it and pull it into your existing finish, you'll see starts and stops, starts and stops, starts and stops. And that's not going to give you the blend that you're looking for in most cases. So what you want to do is you want to go back in and kind of touch those places again. And you'll see when I first put this green on here, it is a very, it's a lot brighter than the other colors that we're using, which is great. But once you start bringing it around with your, when you start using your water and moving it around, it works so much better. It moves around for you a lot better. And like I say, it doesn't take but just a tiny, tiny bit of the collard greens to streak into that leg. And it adds just enough that it gives it almost a marble effect as far as your blending goes. Now, you can blend it down as much as you want. I mean, you can take the burlap, and go back over it and blend it completely out if that's what you want. But a lot of times, if you want that organic look, which is what I'm going for most of the time, I like to have it in there. And like I say, you want to make sure and marry your finishes. Okay, you want to make sure and marry these finishes together. You want to pull it into the piece. Okay, so sometimes you want to touch it and, you know, with the end of your brush, and make sure that it's all staying kind of in that same color field. And we're going to go down the back of this leg right here because we can see it. Okay, now if you're looking, there's a couple of little blemishes on this table here and there, but those will be absolutely covered up when we're finished with our blend. Because like I say, anything that you see that's kind of standing out a little, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into it and we're going to dry brush our colors on there, okay? And you just want to kind of work it a little. I mean, that's the best thing. And see, right now I can feel that my brush is dragging. Once you feel the least bit of drag when you're painting, especially if you're using a natural bristle brush, you want to go back over it and just bring that brush together, okay? Just bring that brush back over it with a little bit of dampness, and that paint will move right around on you. I make it look so easy. Oh, girl, it is so easy. I am not even playing with you. It's so easy. Okay, now I'm going to announce our winner of our paint on tomorrow night's live. Because one person doing lives, you just can't get it all done. Okay, so now this is what we've done so far. We have put our palmetto here, we have put burlap here, and we have collard greens up here. So we have the palmetto going to the collard greens, but it's going through burlap. So that's why you see that little swish. Now, a lot of times when people blend, they leave a definite line. I don't really like to have a definite line between my colors. I like more of a fading effect, almost a marbleized effect when I do a blend. Now, if I'm doing an ombre, I don't mind there to be kind of a color line, but I really like when I'm doing a blend, I want it to have more of a marbleized type effect. Now, you guys can do yours whatever way works best for you, but since this leg has dried some, we're going to go over here and do it. And now, like I told you, first thing you're going to want to do is you lay down a bed of water. If you have a mister bottle, it's very easy to do. And what I like to do is I go back in with my base color and just kind of drag it over it. And then I'm going to take my palmetto, which is my brighter green. Oh, you haven't done an ombre? They're so much fun to do. And really, it just takes a little bit of work. Ombres are not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of work. It's like anything. Once you've done it once or twice, you'll see how easy it is, and you'll want to do it after that. Okay. So, you'll notice I dragged my brush so that I brought it in. And we're going to drop our dark color in there. And I almost put sandbar down here. That is not the color we're using right now. All right. So now we have blended our colors together. And we have gotten it so that we have gone through our palmetto and everything. And we've got it all the way on this edge. You know me. I don't like to keep lives up forever and ever and ever because everybody gets bored. But what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry, and I'm going to go on around. And tomorrow night, hopefully this will be done, and we're going to do our transfer. And then I'm going to show you how, even after you've done a transfer, that doesn't mean that you have to be done. Okay? And you're going to see my transfer is not going to go on here straight because I don't care for straight. Hey, Chris, thanks for tuning in. I don't care for straight. I think straight and symmetrical is super boring, so it won't be straight. I'm going to put it at an angle, and then on either side, we're going to make it look like this stamp and this stamp. These two stamps right here are part of it. So that way we can, just have it kind of dressed up a little and doll it up. But then tomorrow night, hopefully, I wish it would dry sooner so that we could put some on tonight. But tomorrow night, we're going to use our coffee bean and our sandbar so that we can start doing our highlights and our lowlights, because I love that. I mean, I love it when you're doing highlights and lowlights. But we do have to get a little bit more paint on here, a little bit more of a blend, heal these little boo-boos that didn't take the paint as well as I would like, but that won't take but a few minutes. But tomorrow night, I can tell you we will probably work on this table. But I'm not making any promises because I'm pretty excited about the wreath and the gift things that we're going to do. And I'm also very excited about what we're going to do with that big gold frame over there. Because I think a lot of you don't think out of the box when you're doing things. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think you do what's safe, and I mean, safe is okay. I do custom work and I do whatever a customer wants within reason, but sometimes safe gets kind of boring. So this week is not about safe. Most people would not blend these colors of green together and put this on here, but it's my table and I'm going to do it because I like it. And then the gold frame, I'm so excited. You know what though, Jamie? Sometimes safe is boring. I mean, I could be sitting behind a desk now, but I'm not. God gave me the chance to do this, and I'm out doing it, and it's so much fun. So if you guys have questions before tomorrow, I will be here tomorrow night at 8:30. We may work on this table. We may work on that gold frame. We may work on something else. But if you guys want some paint, I do have the sale. $65 worth of product, and you get a free 8-ounce paint and free shipping. So if you guys have questions, hit me up. If not, I'm going to be here painting in the dark and in the cold by myself. And I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Thanks for watching tonight, guys, and y'all have a blessed evening. See ya!